Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.
Nah, most people won't do that. Most people would think to themselves, nah, I ain't never heard that. I never seen that. I never experienced that. I'm gonna get into that next. I never experienced that, so he gotta be lying. He gotta be making it up. That's why my tagline is point out the lie. I know a lot of people are not on my level of perception. Let me get one more thing, man. We're talking about perception, man. Quick story. Had a conversation with some females. I basically asked them, who's more emotional, males or females? They said males. Yes, they said males are more emotional. So I said, nah, females are more emotional. Men are more logical. Their response, at least one of their responses, no, let me give you both the responses. One of the chicks said,
well, how can you know that? How can you say that?
How can I say that females are more emotional than males?
Well, how can you say that? You haven't met every single male and female in the world.
The other one said,
well, I know that females are more logical, just on the strength that if females weren't logical, they wouldn't have so many abortions.
she said the fact that females have abortion proves their logic. I'm not making this up. I bring that first piece up to tell people who's on that master level of perception, that master level of intellect. Don't be upset at these dudes that's always asking,
Huh? What? What'd you just say? What you mean?
I get that all the time. What you mean? And I'd be like, yo, how many languages you speak? I only speak English. Oh, okay. So what word didn't you understand? So I realize now they're intelligent enough to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, but they're not intellectual enough to unpack it and know what it really means. Just the other day I was listening to Kevin Samuels. Back to this perception as reality. He gave a chick a stat saying that I don't remember the specific stat, but he basically said that over 50% of black men are single with no kids, because the woman was trying to say, oh, these deadbeat black men, they all married, there's not too many good ones left. And basically Kevin Samuels basically telling her like, yo, over 50% of black men are single with no kids. And she refused to believe it, and Kevin Samuels probed more as to why she refused to believe it, and her answer was,
well, where I live at in ATL, it's mostly this, it's mostly that.
And Kevin Samuels had to remind her like, yo, I didn't say that over 50% in Atlanta are XYZ. He said this was a general statement.
No, but where I live is not like that, blah, blah.
To her
her world is Atlanta. So if in her world, let's read what she said. If in Atlanta only 20% of the men are available, so that means to her perception of her in her reality, there are only 20% of eligible males available in the world, in the planet. But that's foolish to think like that.
Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's the advice I give a lot of my friends, man. You know, birds of a feather flock together. So I surround myself with very intelligent and intellectual men. So when they're having issues with people, when I say issues, when they're frustrated with the people who don't have the same level of perception as them, I have to remind them.
Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Now, in this part of the video, I'm going to emphasize the other side. Now, to understand what the other side is, you got to understand the first half of this video. What you need to understand is that your reality is your perception, how you see things, right?
Through experiences, or in other words, experiences change or tend to evolve your perception of things. Experience, man. That's how you get to the other side.
Another way of describing the other side is by saying, there are things that I have experienced and learned from that experience that if I went back in time and tried to give myself that lesson on the experience that I learned from, I wouldn't be able to get it. I wouldn't be able to absorb it. I wasn't intelligent. I wouldn't be intelligent enough to receive it. You understand? So something that I know now, that if I went back in time and tried to teach it to myself, I wouldn't get it. Because I'm not intelligent enough. I wasn't intelligent enough. I wasn't experienced enough. That's what the other side is. So when I say something like,
yeah, man, yo, if a chick is really feeling you, yo, she don't give a fuck if she's not gonna tell you to go take a shower before she suck on your balls. You heard? If anything, she's gonna say, no. I like the way your balls smell. I like salty balls.
yeah, but you have to next to
Like, what? Hell no. I don't know what type of chick you dealing with, man. You must be dealing with some dirty chicks, man, cause I ain't never had no chick.
You hear that? You hear what he just said?
I ain't never had a chick.
That right there, see, that's a dude that's not willing to learn. See, they say the wise man learns from another person, a fool learns from his own mistakes. You know what I mean? So when I hear somebody say something like that, and I get it, I understand, because I remember my man, so I'm about to go check right now. I remember some of the stories he would tell me, some of his about some of his sex escapades, and instead of me saying that's not true, like I just said an example, what I would tell my man is, yo, how you find these freaks, man? Like, yo, where I gotta go to find these freaks? That right there tells me that I didn't believe that you can do that or do these things with just any chick or most chicks.
I thought you had to find them. But through my experiences, I realized you have to create them.
Or pull it out the chick, because it's in her. Oh, it's in her. And she definitely wants things in her too. But again, that's another episode. But the other side, it's experiences that make you grow. I guess that the underlining message of this episode is experiences. The more experiences you have, the more you can learn, the more you can maneuver. But anyway, I want to focus on the other side. When you get to the other side, you start to see the world differently. You may have had backstage access or behind the curtain access to certain demographics in life. You may have had behind the curtain experience with certain fields, whether it be healthcare, education, you know what I mean, sex industry, whatever it is, man, or a combination of those things.
Like myself.
Once you experience things, you're on the other side. You're able to see things from a different angle. Like that movie, I believe it's called Vantage Point, with Forrest Whitaker. I suggest everybody go watch that movie, Vantage Point, because it gives you an example of what I'm speaking of as far as like your perception. In that movie, it shows one event seen by like 5 different people at the same time, but from their perception. And from their perception, you can see that depending on what prejudgment you have prior to seeing or doing what you're doing, depending on what angle you see things at, depending on what knowledge you have on things already, will determine on how you receive the message, man. So I implore everybody to get to the other side. Because when you get to the other side, things start to make sense. You know what I mean? Like traveling. You know what I mean? Like on one side of things, I see why people say,
oh, don't go out the country. It's dangerous. It's, you can get robbed, you can get killed, you get this, you can get that.
I get the propaganda. But now that I've traveled multiple times, I'm on the other side now. Now I can hear the propaganda coming out of people's mouths, and the way I call it out is I ask questions.
Oh, so got it's like it's crazy out there. Word? How many times you been out there? Never? Oh, okay. So your peoples went out there. Somebody went out there. So what happened to them when they went out there? Oh, you never had nobody go out there. Okay. So where you getting this information about, like, it's being crazy and all that?
Well, now I saw it on the news. I heard a friend from a friend from a friend from a friend from a friend told me.
So let me get this straight. You have no actual experience with this place, but yet you are talking to me in a way to discourage me from going.
I forgive them because they don't know no better. Okay? But really, I made this episode because when it comes to chicks, man, a lot of dudes ain't on the other side when it comes to chicks, man. As far as understanding them and seeing them who they are.
Dudes on the other side know chicks like sex more than dudes. Dudes on the other side know chicks want a dude who got chicks already. Dudes on the other side knows when it comes to chicks that they like that roller coaster. That they like that roller coaster. You know what I mean? Everything can't be peaches and cream. Dudes on the other side know you can't give her all your time and attention. She's not gonna appreciate it. She's actually gonna appreciate it more when you put some space between the two of you.
When you're on the other side, you don't have that red pill rage. When you're on the other side, you don't ask questions like, yo, what do I do to get a chick's number? You don't ask a question like, yo, how do I get my ex back? You know what I mean? So if you want to get to the other side, start having experiences. Because you can read a book and it's not the same as having experiences. You can watch all my videos. It's not the same as having experiences. You can't be afraid to fail. So your goal for 2020 moving forward is to continue experiencing things, changing your perception, and reaching the other side. When you're on the other side, life is grand. The world becomes your oyster. That being said, Red Pill Chauvinist, I hope somebody got something out of this. Make sure you get to the other side, man. Things will make a lot more sense.
But you gotta wanna do it, family.
RPC, PSA, Yay!
Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.